Tools needed for this install is a 1/4-inch screwdriver, 1/4-inch ratchet, 7mm deep socket, 10mm socket, T15 torque socket, panel popper, masking tape, and an impact gun. Welcome to Spyder Auto. Today I'll show you how to install Spyder headlights on a 2016 to 18 Chevy Camaro. Using your 7mm socket, remove 12 bolts to free the bottom of the bumper. Using your T15 torque socket, remove 4 screws, securing the side of the bumper here. This next step, we're going to have to remove 7mm bolts securing along the side of the bumper here. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's going to be 3 right here on the inside of the bumper. So go ahead and peel this liner back, and using your 1/4 ratchet along with a short 7mm socket. And this third one here, we're going to peel this a little bit so we can open it up and reach this third one. So now that we're finished with this side, let's repeat the same process to the other side. So now that the sides and the bottom of the bumper is free, we could start on the top. So let's pop the hood open. And here on the sides of the bumper, the fender, I applied masking tape to prevent any scratches when we remove the bumper and install the bumper. So this first step, we're gonna have to remove this plastic weather strip that goes across the top of the bumper. You're gonna need a panel popper and your T15 torque screw. You're gonna remove 2 plastic push pins, one here and one on the other side. Next, you're gonna remove 8 T15 screws. So now that we have the hardware removed, we can carefully peel off this weather strip. And on the bottom of the weather strip, there's clips, so you want to be careful you don't crack those. Now the front bumper is ready to remove. So what you want to do is, just want to pull the side here and just carefully pull it forward. And on this side, there's a connector. Just press down on the tab and disconnect it. Now we can set our bumper aside. This next step, you want to loosen 4 10mm bolts that's holding. So now that our plate is loose, we can remove 4 7mm bolts securing the headlight. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4. So now we can carefully unseat the headlight. And on the back, there's a red clip, just slide it back and then press down on the tab so you could disconnect the main harness. And then the turn signal bulb, just turn it counterclockwise and pop off that clip. Now we can set this headlight aside. Go ahead and remove your turn signal bulb. Now we can bring in our Spyder headlight. Go ahead and connect the turn signal to the bulb socket here. Make sure the black wire matches up with the black wire, or the negative matches with the negative. Make sure it snaps into place. And also make sure you have this rubber gasket here when you connect this bulb socket into the housing. Lock it into place. Go ahead and connect the main harness. Make sure it clicks into place. Slide the red clip to lock it. Carefully seat the headlight in place. Go ahead and reinstall your 4 7mm bolts. So now that we have the driver's side headlight installed, let's repeat the same process to the passenger side. Now that we have our headlights installed, tying down the 4 10mm bolts to this plate. Reinstall the front bumper and plug in this connector. Make sure the bottom plastic goes over the bumper. Line up the guide pins here on the side. Pop the bumper back in place. Do the same to the other side. Line up the guide pins. Snap it in place. Reinstall the 2 plastic weather strips. Pop the bottom clips into place on the bumper. Now you're going to reinstall your 2 plastic push pins on each side. Reinstall your 8 T15 screws. Now that we're finished with the top, let's go ahead and reinstall the hardware on the side of the bumpers. Reinstall your 7mm bolts. Put your liner back in place. Reinstall your 4 T15 screws. Now that we're done with this side, let's repeat the same process to the opposite side. Reinstall your 12 7mm bolts. Now that we're finished with our install, let's test each function and make sure each one works properly.